Kim Dokja. Before the apocalypse ever arrived, Dokja was already a survivor. Not of monsters, not of constellations, but of a life that seemed determined to break him. As a child, home was a battlefield disguised as a house. His father's abuse filled every room with fear. Every footstep mattered. Every sound could become violence. So Dokja learned the survival skills no child should ever need. Stay quiet, read emotions, disappear before becoming a target. Books became his refuge. But school was no sanctuary. There he was bullied, mocked, and treated as though he barely existed. At home he was afraid. At school he was unwanted. Little by little, the world convinced him that his suffering meant nothing. Then came the night that changed everything. Faced with a father threatening him and his mother with a knife, a terrified child made an impossible choice. Kim Dokja killed his father, not out of cruelty, but out of fear. Not because he was a monster, but because he was a child pushed beyond his limits. And then his mother sacrificed everything. Lee Soo-gyung took the blame. She accepted prison, hatred, and the title of murderer so her son could remain free. To the world, she became a criminal. To Dokja, she became the mother who vanished without explanation, leaving behind only confusion, guilt, and abandonment. But her sacrifice did not end there. She wrote a novel, Underground Killer, turning their tragedy into a story to support him financially. Yet every page reopened old wounds. Classmates mocked him as the son of a murderer. Strangers judged him. His private pain became public entertainment. Every attempt to save Kim Dokja seemed to leave another scar. By 15, the weight became unbearable. After years of abuse, loneliness, shame, and despair, he jumped from a classroom window. He survived, but in that moment, hope had nearly left him completely. And then, when he needed it most, he found a story. 3 ways to survive in a ruined world. To everyone else, it was just a web novel. To Kim Dokja, it was life itself. When people abandoned him, the story remained. When reality told him he was insignificant, the story gave him one more reason to wake up tomorrow. Through Yoo Jung-hyuk, a man who suffered endlessly, yet refused to stop moving forward, Dokja found someone who understood loneliness better than anyone. So he kept reading. One chapter became another. One day became another. One year became another. Even when every other reader disappeared, Kim Dokja stayed. For more than 10 years. Through all 3,149 chapters. Not because life suddenly became beautiful, but because each chapter gave him enough strength to survive one more day. Adulthood brought no miracle. Failed exams, an unremarkable university, difficult military service, a low-paying office job, a quiet existence where he felt almost invisible. Yet beneath that ordinary life was an extraordinary wound. Dokja learned to care for everyone except himself. He could understand broken people because he was broken too. He could save others because he knew exactly what despair felt like. But believing he deserved to be saved? That was always the hardest battle. So when the apocalypse finally arrived, Kim Dokja was uniquely prepared. Not because he was the strongest, not because he was chosen, but because his world had already ended countless times before. His home ended. His childhood ended. His trust ended. His hope nearly ended. And yet, he continued. Kim Dokja spent years admiring a protagonist who never gave up, never realizing the truth. The greatest survivor in the story was never Yoo Jung-hyuk. It was the lonely reader who kept turning the page. And when the world finally became a ruined novel, Kim Dokja discovered he had been the protagonist all along.
Lee Yuseong.
Yuseong's tragedy did not begin with revenge. It began with weakness. Not cruelty, not evil, just the quiet weakness cruel people notice instantly. Yuseong was small, timid, poor, and easy to scare. He lowered his head instead of fighting back, hoping the abuse would pass. But it never passed. It spread. The first wound was Shin Min-woo. Min-woo did not need a deep reason to ruin him. Yuseong looked awkward, nervous, and defenseless, so Min-woo chose him. He noticed Yuseong's stomach problems and turned them into humiliation. He switched seats, blocked him from using the bathroom, and helped create a school life where Yuseong needed permission just to exist. Bathroom breaks, water, leaving class. Everything had to go through a group chat controlled by his tormentors. If permission was denied, Yuseong suffered. When his body gave out, they filmed it, laughed, and spread his shame like entertainment. That is what Min-woo represents. The beginning. The first push that turned Yuseong from a classmate into an object. A loser. A joke. After Min-woo opened that door, others walked through it. Yuseong carried bags, took beatings, and watched classmates record or look away. Every day taught him the same lesson. No one was coming. Then came Park Sang-chol. If Min-woo started Yuseong's humiliation, Sang-chol burned down what little life he had left. Sang-chol treated Yuseong like an experiment. He asked disgusting questions, tested strange ideas, and used him for whatever sick thought entered his head. One day, that cruelty followed Yuseong home. Sang-chol and the others forced him to swallow drugs. The world twisted around him. The boys became demons in his mind, whispering while he was too drugged to understand what was real. Then they told him to put a wet towel into the microwave. Yuseong obeyed, and the explosion tore his home apart. When Yuseong woke up, he was in the ICU. His face was burned, his body was scarred. The one place his family still had was destroyed. But when he returned to school, there was no sympathy, only laughter. Sang-chol acted like a hero, bragging that Yuseong should thank him for dragging him out alive. He caused the disaster, then demanded gratitude. Because fear had trained Yuseong to bow his head, he could not scream the truth. He apologized. Then Sang-chol and the others lied. They told police Yuseong had taken drugs and started the fire himself. Their stories matched, so the victim became the criminal. His mother was told her son was responsible. Insurance disappeared. Debt piled up. His family had to carry losses from a fire they did not cause, and his grandmother never recovered. The shock, the fire, and the sight of Yuseong's burned face shattered her mind. Later, Sang-chol forced her to crawl like a dog and recorded it for laughs, turning his family's pain into another joke. That is why Yuseong's burning person tattoo matters. It is his scar, his ruined home, his mother's debt, his grandmother's collapse, and the day the world believed the bullies. But behind Sang-chol's cruelty was someone even worse. Jo Young-bom. Young-bom was not loud like the others. To teachers, he looked perfect. Smart, polite, rich, helpful. A model student with a spotless future. But that image was a mask. Young-bom watched Yuseong suffer like entertainment and helped shape the bullying from the shadows. The group chat control, public humiliation, live-streamed mockery, and the way Yuseong's shame spread beyond the classroom. Even worse, he noticed Yuseong's sister, Lee Na-yoon. Na-yoon was everything Yuseong needed. Bright, mature, protective, and beautiful. Only 3 years older, but to Yuseong, she felt like the pillar of the family. When she saw his burned face and his mother's exhaustion, she did not blame him. She held him. When Na-yoon learned he was being bullied, she stepped into his hell. For the first time, Yuseong had someone willing to protect him. But Young-bom turned even that into a weakness. Na-yoon confronted them. She humiliated Young-bom, and his pride could not accept it. So he used a car as a weapon. He ran her over. Her legs were destroyed. Her future in track was stolen in a single moment. Even when she tried swimming, the damage never truly left her. Because young Bom knew how to control stories, even justice bent around him. His image protected him. His status protected him. The law gave him less than he deserved. Yuseong had to watch the person who saved him become another victim of the same world that failed him. That is what young Bom represents: manipulation. A perfect mask hiding a rotten soul. The person who helped design Yuseong's suffering then reached into his family and destroyed the one person who gave him hope. His tattoos are not just revenge marks, they are proof. Proof that Minwoo started the humiliation. Proof that Sangcheol turned his home into ashes. Proof that young Bom hid behind a smile while destroying his sister. Lee Yuseong was not born cruel. He was made, piece by piece. And the saddest part is, Minwoo, Sangcheol, and young Bom are only the beginning. More scars, betrayals, and names are still carved into his body.
Yu was not born empty. He was born in darkness, inside a filthy basement lit by one hanging bulb, to parents already broken by the world. Moments after his birth, his mother nearly strangled him. But when the newborn Yu grabbed her finger, she stopped. That tiny touch was the first reason he survived. But survival did not mean safety. Yu grew up trapped in a mold-covered basement, with the door locked from the outside. To him, that room was not home. It was the entire world. Alcohol bottles covered the floor. Sunlight barely reached him. His father beat him constantly, treating him less like a son and more like something to take his anger out on. His mother loved him in a broken way, but she could not protect him. She screamed, cried, collapsed, and sometimes turned her pain toward him. Both parents had been damaged by abuse and neglect long before Yu was born. They tried to heal each other, but their suffering swallowed them both, and Yu inherited the consequences. As a child, he endured violence so often that pain became normal. At first, he cried. At first, he was afraid. But eventually, something inside him shut down. His body kept living, but his heart went silent. He stopped reacting, because reacting changed nothing. He did not know friendship. He did not know school. He did not know dreams, sunlight, or happiness. The only glimpses of another life came from an old television, showing families laughing, children eating good food, and people smiling as if the world was warm. To Yu, those scenes looked unreal. Then, one day, a stray black cat slipped into the basement through a small opening. For Yu, that cat became proof that something existed beyond the cage. He followed it through the opening and climbed outside for the first time after more than 6 years underground. For the first time, Yu saw the night sky. For the first time, he saw stars. For the first time, the world felt bigger than pain. Everything amazed him. The streets, the lights, the houses, the open air. Ordinary things became miracles because Yu had been denied them his whole life. Soon he met a black-haired girl with blue eyes. She gave him slippers and showed him around the neighborhood. Yu barely knew how to speak. When she asked his name, he could only answer, "I don't know." But she did not mock him. She simply accepted him. Through her, Yu tasted candy for the first time. He saw kittens. He walked through streets full of life. He discovered conversation, kindness, and companionship. Before this, Yu had only existed. Now, he wanted things. He wanted to go outside again. He wanted good food. He wanted happiness. When Yu returned home, he was excited. He told his mother everything. The cat, the people, the girl, the candy, the world outside. But his mother did not smile. She panicked. She clung to him, crying and begging him not to leave her. To Yu, that moment revealed the truth. His mother did not want freedom.
She wanted both of them to stay buried in that basement forever. But Yu had already changed. After seeing the world, he began wanting things for the first time. He wanted good food. He wanted comfort. He wanted to be loved. He wanted to live beyond those four walls. So he waited. For days, Yu listened to his heartbeat in the dark. 1, 2, 3. When his mother finally slept, he slipped out again. This time, he knew the way. Every road led him back to the girl. She was happy he returned. She hugged him, walked with him, shared candy with him, showed him kittens, books, stars, and small pieces of a world he had never been allowed to know. Through her, Yu learned that life was not only pain, there was beauty too. And slowly, he began to trust her. But happiness never stayed long.
The girl revealed she was dying from cancer. Yu did not fully understand death yet, but when she spoke about disappearing forever, he felt something terrifying inside his chest. For the first time, he feared losing someone. Meanwhile, his mother became more unstable. Terrified Yu would leave after discovering the outside world, she nearly strangled him. While fighting for air, Yu asked one question. "What is my name?" That question broke her. She realized how much damage she had done to her child. She collapsed, cried, and apologized. For a short time, the house almost felt warm. She cared for him. They ate noodles together. Yu told her about the outside world, the cats, and the girl. For one night, Yu felt something close to family. Then morning came. He found his mother hanging dead. She had taken her own life while he slept. The warmth he had just found disappeared before he could understand it. One night, he had his mother beside him. The next morning, she was gone forever. After her death, his father became worse. Drowning in rage and grief, he beat Yu while blaming him for everything. And Yu, already hollow, began to question why people were born only to hurt each other. Then the final breaking point came. During another violent attack, Yu stabbed his father. There was no rage on his face, no panic, no satisfaction, just silence. It was not the act of a cruel child. It was the empty reaction of someone pushed beyond what a human heart could carry. After that, Yu wandered through life with almost nothing left inside him. The girl who gave him kindness was dying. His mother was dead. His father had become a monster. Even the black cat that led him to freedom eventually died. Every source of warmth disappeared one by one, leaving only emptiness. Yu's tragedy is not that he became emotionless. It is that he briefly discovered beauty after a lifetime in darkness, only for the world to rip it away again and again. He was not born hollow. He was a child who saw the stars too late, felt love too briefly, and lost hope too many times until silence became the only thing left inside him. The boy. The boy from the horizon was not born into victory. He was born into war. His story begins with screams, gunfire, and explosions tearing through the streets. As civilians run, his mother hides him and tells him to stay down. From that hiding place, he can only listen as the world above him collapses. Then the noise stops. When he comes out, the streets are filled with corpses, strangers, families, innocent people. And among them is his mother, her head destroyed by a gunshot. The boy cannot understand death yet, so he tries to fix her. He gathers pieces of her brain and presses them back into her skull, as if she is something broken that can still be put together. But she does not move. She does not wake up. In that moment, he loses more than his mother. He loses safety. He loses love. He loses the belief that the world makes sense. After that, he walks through a world that feels empty. He is still a child, but war forces him to think like someone who has already lived too long. He begins to believe life has no real purpose, that people simply struggle, suffer, and die. Still, he keeps walking. Not because he has hope, because moving forward is the only thing left. Eventually, he finds shelter inside an abandoned bus. There he meets a young girl around his age. At first, they barely speak. Both understand the silence. Both have seen the same horror. Then explosions erupt nearby. Soldiers begin fighting around them, and the boy instinctively grabs her hand and runs. That small act becomes the most important bond in his life. For the first time since his mother died, he is not alone. As they travel through ruined roads, the girl becomes his reason to live. Before her, the boy had surrendered to despair, but her presence gives him purpose. She is the last trace of innocence in a world that has forgotten how to be gentle. They share food, treat each other's wounds, walk side by side through death. In a world where humanity has collapsed, they become each other's humanity. But hope in the horizon is always fragile. During their journey, they meet a strange, wandering man. The girl feels sorry for him, but the boy senses danger. The man follows them obsessively, terrified of being left alone. The boy wants to escape, but the girl believes loneliness may be what made the world so cruel. So for her sake, he tries to trust him. That trust is destroyed. One night, the man attacks the girl and tries to assault her. The boy snaps. He stabs the man again and again to save her, then grabs her hand and runs. Even though he protects her, something inside him cracks. The world teaches him another lesson. Kindness can be punished, trust can become danger, and survival can force a child into violence before he understands what violence means. Later, they meet the man in the suit, a calm survivor who kills armed travelers before they can become threats. He teaches the boy how to use a gun and believes peace can only exist through violence. The boy understands why. After everything he has seen, cruelty often feels more realistic than kindness. But the girl keeps pulling him back. She still believes every life matters. She refuses to let suffering erase her heart. Because of her, the boy keeps resisting the darkness inside him. When she shares her past, he learns she has lost almost everyone too. Disease, despair, and death took them one by one. Even her father became sick and had to leave her behind. Yet despite all of it, she still chooses kindness. That changes him. For the first time since losing his mother, the boy imagines a future. In a field of flowers, he and the girl promise to marry someday. They dream of building a house near the ocean. For one brief moment, they are not just survivors. They are children again. Then the world takes that too. In a forest, they meet another boy and girl. Both boys raise their guns, trained by war to expect betrayal. But the girls calm them. For 1 second, peace feels possible. Then a missile explodes. In an instant, the girl beside him is killed. The person who became his reason to live is gone before he can even say goodbye. The boy stands beside her body with nothing left. The future they imagined is gone. The warmth she gave him is gone. The one person who made life meaningful has been taken. The boy's tragedy is not hopelessness. It is finding pieces of humanity, only for war to rip them away. His mother, his innocence, his trust, his future with the girl. Yet somehow, he continues. Not as a hero, not as someone strong, but as a child carrying more grief than anyone should, still walking toward a horizon that may never give him peace.
Seongjun Lee. Seongjun was not born a monster. He was a hero who lived so many lives that being alive became the tragedy. Before becoming the hero of Return, Seongjun was summoned to another world and tasked with defeating its demon king. That world let heroes choose abilities, so he chose Infinite Return. Whenever he died, time rewound, and only he kept his memories. At first, it sounded perfect. A second chance, a safety net, a way to correct every mistake. But Seongjun had not chosen salvation. He had chosen a prison. After defeating the Demon King, Seongjun returned to Earth and joined the original hero resistance. In that first timeline, Kim Min-soo was not his enemy. He was his comrade. Together, they fought rogue heroes terrorizing South Korea. Seongjun used Infinite Return over and over, learning from each death until he created the best ending. It took more than 100 returns, but eventually he succeeded. The rogue heroes were defeated, South Korea survived. His friends lived. Humanity was saved. Seongjun fell in love, got married, had children, and grew old with the people he loved. Then he died of old age and woke up at the beginning. At first, Seongjun thought it was a mistake, so he lived again. He fought again, saved everyone again, built another peaceful future with no regrets left. Then he died and returned again. That was when he understood the horror of infinite return. Old age, sickness, violence, exhaustion. It did not matter. Every death dragged him back. No afterlife, no final sleep, no true ending. No matter how beautiful his life became, time would always steal it from him. Still, Seongjun tried to remain a hero. He kept saving people, perfecting timelines, and searching for a clean way out. But every return hollowed him further. Conversations repeated, battles repeated, friendships repeated, funerals repeated. His wife, children, and comrades loved him in one life, then became strangers in the next. Only Seongjun remembered. To everyone else, every meeting was new. To him, it was another echo of a life he had already lived and lost. His curse was not only trapping him, it was trapping the world. Every time Seongjun died, billions of lives were erased. Children vanished, families disappeared, dreams and generations were crushed beneath his return. Humanity could never move beyond him because time itself could not continue past his death. He was not just a prisoner, he was the lock on humanity's cage. So Seongjun tried everything. Cardiac arrest, freezing, space, magical containment, and even changing his body into something mechanical. Nothing worked. Every path ended the same way: reset. After thousands of returns, morality began to blur. Saving the world became mechanical. People praised him as a savior, but he could no longer feel pride. He had saved them, lost them, and watched their futures disappear too many times. Then, Seongjun remembered the one condition tied to infinite return. If he was killed by a demon king, the ability would not activate. For the first time in countless lifetimes, he felt hope again. But it was no longer heroic hope. It was the hope of a desperate man willing to create a monster if that monster could finally kill him. So Seongjun tried to create a demon king on Earth. He joined the fallen heroes, guided them from the shadows, and pushed them deeper into violence, hoping one would become strong enough to end him permanently. But every attempt failed because of Kim Min-soo. No matter how close a rogue hero came to becoming a demon king, Min-soo always stopped them. He was too strong, too determined, too impossible to remove. So Seongjun reached the most horrifying answer of his endless life. If Min-soo always stopped the demon king, then Min-soo had to become the demon king. That was when Seongjun truly fell. He arranged the death of Min-soo's mother while she searched for her missing son. He pushed Min-soo's father towards suicide. He bribed teachers to expel him, spread rumors to isolate him, and destroyed every support system that might have saved him. He cut away every future where Min-soo could be comforted, redeemed, or allowed to recover. When Min-soo returned to Earth, Seongjun made sure there was nothing waiting for him but grief. No family, no friends, no school, no home, no mercy. The cruelest part was that Seongjun knew who he was destroying. In countless timelines, Kim Min-soo had been his ally and friend. They had fought together, saved the world together, and built futures together. But after hundreds of thousands of returns, Seongjun sacrificed even someone he once loved. Not because he hated Min-soo, because Min-soo was the only person strong enough to become the thing that could end his curse. Yet the hero inside Seongjun had not completely vanished. He knew the monster he created would need to be stopped after his death. So he prepared Jong-soo Park, the hero of Spear. Across repeated loops, Seongjun trained him through death, failure, correction, and survival until he could face Demon King Min-soo after Seongjun was gone. That contradiction is what makes Seongjun so tragic. He created the Demon King, then prepared the hero meant to kill him. He became an antagonist, but still tried to leave humanity a future. His actions were unforgivable, but they came from eternity, twisting a selfless hero into someone who could no longer see a clean way forward. By the time every piece was in place, Seongjun had died hundreds of thousands of times. He had saved the world, lost the world, loved people, buried people, created futures, erased futures, lived peacefully, and returned endlessly. Now, Kim Min-soo had become the Demon King. Jong-soo Park was humanity's last hope. Seongjun stood at the edge of his final plan. Not a pure hero, not simply a monster. A man destroyed by forever, ready to gamble everything for an ending. Seo Baek Hyang. Baek Hyang's story begins in snow. Before she was the heavenly demon, she was a nameless child abandoned in a blizzard. No family, no memories, no identity. For 10 days, she survived by eating snow. When an old martial artist found her, she saw a miracle, a body born for cold, internal energy and martial arts. To Murim, she was the perfect vessel. But inside, she was still an abandoned child who did not know her own name. So she named her Seo Baek Hyang, the scent of snow. The demonic cult gave her a home, but even that home was built from sorrow. She was raised among abandoned children from famine, abuse, poverty, and families that threw them away. At first, it looked like mercy, but Baek Hyang saw the truth. The cult gathered children poisoned by the world and raised them to bite back. Even the adults caring for them were victims who needed someone strong enough to carry their grief. That became the root of her martial arts. Not peace, a scream from people abandoned by heaven. As she grew, her talent became terrifying. She surpassed disciples, elders, and masters until she became the heavenly demon, leader of the demonic cult. But strength made her lonelier. People feared her and followed her, yet few saw the abandoned girl beneath the title. Baek Hyang understood one cold truth. Everything dies. No martial art can protect everything forever. To her, martial arts were about choosing a death with meaning and dignity. Then, Murim began to end. Gangsi disease spread, turning martial artists into corpse-like monsters while preserving their combat ability. Disciples became wandering corpses. The world froze beneath snow, silence, and disease. Still, Baek Hyang kept fighting. Not because she believed she could save everyone, but because surrendering before the end was unacceptable. Even after her followers became Gangsi, she refused to treat them like monsters. They were still her disciples, her people. Eventually, only 2 true masters remained, Seo Baek Hyang and Bu Wolson, her rival and leader of the orthodox faction. Their war looked absurd. The world was dead, their followers were corpses, yet they still fought as if victory mattered. But that rivalry was the only thing keeping them alive. Both had been bitten years earlier. To resist becoming Gangsi, they severed the flow near their spine and used internal energy to control their bodies like puppets. Every heartfelt, breath, and step had to be forced by martial will. Beneath her arrogance, Baek Hyang feared her energy would run out, that she would become Gangsi, and that Wolson would fall first, leaving her alone in the cold again. When Wolson reached his limit, he begged her to kill him before the disease turned him into a monster. Baek Hyang refused with rage, not because she hated him, but because if Wolson died, she would truly be alone. Their rivalry was proof that humanity still existed, but he could not continue. When Wolson fell, Baek Hyang broke too. Grief, exhaustion, fear, and infection swallowed her. Her demonic energy spiraled out of control, and the strongest woman in Murim became a screaming, lonely figure in a dead world. That is why Gongja mattered. After resetting, Gongja chose the heavenly demon divine art and accepted her pain. Through it, he saw the blizzard, the abandoned children, the resentment of the demonic cult, and the sorrow behind her sword. A cure was possible, but it came with a cost. To save Baek Hyang and Wolson, the corrupted energy center had to be removed. They could survive, but losing the Dantian meant losing the foundation of the martial power that defined them. They could be healed, but their world was still dead. So Gongja gave them more than survival. He gave them an ending. Using 10,000 souls' rebirth, he summoned the dead warriors of both factions into one final battlefield. To Baek Hyang, it looked like a dream. Her disciples returned. Her followers returned. Her enemies returned. For the first time in years, she stood before her people, not over their corpses. Their war would end as a war, not plague. But Baek Hyang's final battle was not against Wolseon. Her last and deepest fight was against the Sword Emperor through Kim Dokja. Through Dokja, Baek Hyang's demonic heavenly god art clashed with the Sword Emperor's way of life. Her martial arts carried hunger, grief, rage, and the screams of people abandoned by the world. To her, suffering was the sharpest truth. But the Sword Emperor challenged that. If Dokja only learned sorrow, he would burn out. To understand true suffering, he also had to know joy, love, laughter, and warmth. Her life began as a nameless child abandoned in winter. It ended as the heavenly demon, remembered by her disciple. After a lifetime of fighting the cold, she finally found warmth before she disappeared.